Hello everyone, Barb here from barbaderholt.closetomyheart.com. Well, it's that time of year for me to make my Thanksgiving cards when it's almost Thanksgiving. Wouldn't want to do these early because what fun would there be in that? Anyway, I came up with this, and you can see the gloss, so you can see that I have stamped and heat embossed on this card. I picked some images. This is the We Love Fall stamp set. I pulled off Pumpkin Everything, Family Gatherings, and Chilly Days. Then I went to the October months of the year stamp, and I pulled off this really pretty Autumn Harvest here on the bottom. And I also grabbed this little pumpkin with the outside shape, not the solid one, but the other one with the lines. And I grabbed a couple of stamp images off of a previous November months of the year. I don't have the new one, but I still had my old one. So I did grab a couple of images, and those were here. So blessed, so grateful. And that filled that little space in there really nice. I have a piece of 4 by 5 1/4 Tim Holtz. It's the specialty paper. It's this distress watercolor paper. Here we go. Distress watercolor cardstock. It can handle a lot of water. I was going to do some ink blending or something, and as I made the card and put it together, I really fell in love with this white on white. So that's what we're going to do. It does hold up pretty well to heat embossing because it's a thicker cardstock. And there are two sides. This side is a little more smooth. This side has texture to it. So I'm going to use the smoother side. I do have my Misty today because I know I will need to stamp this image multiple times. I've got this into the corner here. My images are on here, and I do have my old but good anti-static powder tool, and I'm just going to pounce that on there and rub it around a little bit, and that eliminates the static so that hopefully my embossing powder will only stick where the Versamark is. I am using white powder today. This is powder that we sell. My Versamark is Super Uggo, and I am going to take a minute. I'll be right back, be right back, be right back. I do have Versamark Re-Inker, and I'm going to throw some on here because I feel like my pad is a little on the dry side. How can I tell? Can't tell. It's well loved. But I'm going to put that on there, and I'm going to grab a black. And you can do this with any smooth thing. You could use the back of a spoon. You could use a gift card, piece of cardstock if you're desperate. But I'm going to use this black and just smooth this out to get that ink moving into the pad. Okay, got this tucked in, got it there. I've got all my little sentiments and images mounted in a row on the door of my Misty. And a Misty is a stamping platform. I've had mine for quite a few years. I don't often use it, but when I'm doing something like this where I have a feeling images might not stamp correctly the first time out, I do like to use this. And you just give it some pressure. The other thing I like to do is take an old rag and use it to rub on the lid, and hopefully that will get that ink to transfer from the images to the door. And I can see that it's there. I am missing some, so I'm going to go through and I'm going to re-ink this right away. Trying to, let's see here, see where I'm missing some. And we'll give it another go. Make sure it's still tucked in the corner there. And it was missing up here. Sometimes it just gotta go again. We call this the CPR method. And now looking at it, it looks like everything has some ink on it. And I have a piece of folded typing paper, copier paper, whatever you want to call it. And I'm going to pour my powder on, give it a little taparoo. That looks really good. This will be loud. Got my heat tool, and we're going to melt the embossing powder. You can see that when I hit the light just right, that glossiness. And there's just something magical about that heat embossing, about that melting. It's kind of mesmerizing. I'm funneling the leftover powder back into its little pot, and I'm going to get this out of the way. The rest of the card goes together simply. I have a piece of 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch shortbread, and that's the little color, that little extra color that's in this pattern paper. So pretty. I have a piece of 1 inch by 5 1/2 inch of a pattern paper from the September-October mix-in package. This is a piece of Harbor. This is one of our brand new colors. Love this color. And this is a 1/4 inch by 5 1/2 inches. Now, what I need to do, off to the side, I have a piece of 4 1/4 by 11 inch cardstock. I had been gifted a box of this cardstock, and I'm going to use it. So I'm making a top fold card using my bone folder to give it a nice crisp crease. And I'm going to use my adhesive that is from my ATG gun, but it is not behaving in my ATG gun, so I'm not throwing it away. It costs too much money. I will take the extra steps and I will just cut it off with my scissors, and hopefully I will figure out what is going on with my ATG gun. Now this piece will completely cover the front of the card so that I have that little border of the shortbread peeking out. There we go. Not bad. And then here is our embossed piece. And again with our adhesive. You could use liquid adhesive if you have other tape runners that you enjoy using. By all means, use what you love to use. You could pop this up, I suppose, or pop up the whole shortbread panel if you wanted. I wanted to keep it flat for easy mailing because I will be making a bunch of these and sending them out to my loves out in the universe. Well, stinker, banker, bopper, boo. What is going on there? There we go. I know I hate pulling those things off, but we're making do. And get that placed on there. Then we'll take this piece and put this on. And this piece I'm going to line up with the edge of the white. Just like that. I am going to take my liquid glue and I'm going to run it just along the very edge of the pattern paper. to put on this strip of harbor. And I have it mostly up on the pattern paper because I didn't want to cover up any of my images. And that is it. That is a simple Thanksgiving card. Super easy to do. It's also a great way to use up one of those precious pieces of pattern paper that you really want to stretch its use because it's only 1 inch wide. You can get a lot of cards out of a piece of 12 by 12 pattern paper that way. I hope you enjoy this, and we'll give tone on tone, white on white, stamping and embossing a try. Thank you so much for stopping by. Have a blessed, crafty day, and I'll see you next time.